Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming here tonight at a time that is so tragic, not just for the Ukrainian people, but for the world. There's a line in the Ukrainian national anthem which says, "Dushu chilo my položim za našu svobodu," and it means we will lay down our body and our soul for our freedom. And at this moment in time, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians have taken up arms, and they're there fighting for their own freedom, for their own national independence, and for their own right to determine their own future. When the invasion occurred, I rang my cousin in Ukraine, and I said, "What are you going to do?" And he said, "Well, I'm 74 years old, my son is 55, my grandson is 28, and we've all joined up now with the civil defence. We've all taken our arms, we're going to fetch our arms now because we're going to defend our country." And I said to him, "But what are you going to do? You're 74 years old. Where are you going?" He said, "You're not there, any there. You're put the dock in shut." I said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay till the end." And that is what is happening at the moment in cities like Kyiv and Kharkiv. As you know, myself, Adam Price, trade union leaders, and some others, we went to Kyiv, we went against Foreign Office advice. We were criticised for that. But what we wanted to do, we actually wanted at that time to be there with the people of Ukraine, with the families who've had family members imprisoned in the occupied areas, with the civil rights groups, with the human rights groups, with the trade unions, with ordinary Ukrainian people. And I'm glad we went. And I look on reflection now, despite the criticism we had, we were right to do so, because most of those people are now armed and they're on the front line. Many of them have never fired a gun before, but they're learning pretty quickly, and they're prepared to lay their lives down for their freedom. And what we will be able to say is that we met with them, we know what they told us, and we will be their voice over here while they are fighting for Ukraine and for freedom across Europe and across the world at this particular moment in time.
It was an honour to be there with you, Mick. You know, last Monday night we were in Kyiv, you know, I have to say I felt very much at home with Ukrainians, warm-hearted, passionate people. I met more miners in 3 days than I met during the entire strike. You know, there was a choir singing on the underground, and there were statues to poets at every street corner. Ukrainians will tell you, you know, it's not, Ukraine isn't a perfect country, more than ours, but they have dreams for a better future, and like us, they have a democracy as a tool to get there. And it's those dreams and the people that hold them dear that Putin is trying to crush tonight with his bombs, with his shells, and with his tanks. But there's one thing that Putin cannot crush, and that's the hope and the spirit of the Ukrainian people. You know, the Ukrainians that we met, our friends out there, they said this, incredible as it may seem, with, you know, 200,000 Russian troops amassing on your borders. Adam, go back to Wales and tell the Welsh people this: don't be afraid of Putin. Don't be afraid of Putin, because we're not. I met Natalia Levitska, the incredible woman who's the head of the Independent Miners Union in Ukraine. And she said, "Adam, my members, Russian-speaking miners, most of them, they've had to run from Putin once. They're not going to run again. They're going to fight. And we're going to win. We're going to win." Tell that to the people. Tell that to the people of Wales. we'll win, and we'll win, they said, because we're united, and if you're united with us, then we'll win together, we'll stop Putin together. How do we do that then? Well, we do it partly by what we're doing tonight, raising our voice and standing together here with Ukraine, because these voices are heard. They're heard by the people in Ukraine, and it gives them strength, and it gives them hope. They're heard by politicians here that are having to change their policy driven by people power, people demanding that we stand in solidarity with Ukraine. And you know what? Our voices are even heard deep in that bunker in the Kremlin as well. And they're heard by the Russian people. As Svetlana said, the Russian people are not our enemies, they are our friends. We are fighting for them too, for a future that's free of Putin's fascism, because they are under the boot, just as anyone else is.
I cannot greet you today with good evening because of the war, but I am very, very grateful and thankful for all of you coming in this typical Welsh weather to show your solidarity and your support for Ukraine. In the recent days, you all seen all that horror caused by criminals invading Ukraine, by Putin's Russia. You will all seen all those magnificent resistance shown by our ordinary people, by soldiers of Ukraine. They are not only protecting their homeland, but it is absolutely clear they are protecting the Europe, and frankly speaking, they are protecting the world. I have to say that morale is very high. We're talking to people from Ukraine every day, few times a day, at night, in the morning, in the evening, and they all ready to defend, they all ready to lay their lives. And I have to tell you one thing, that it's not, obviously it is horrible, but Ukrainians still finding the time to make jokes. I don't know if you heard recent, they decided to rename Molotov cocktail into Ukrainian smoothie. And very recent, near little village in the eastern part of Ukraine, gypsies managed to steal the Russian tank. So, do you think that people of Ukraine can be defeated? Of course, all world showing support for Ukraine. Wales is in the first line. Our little organization, Voice of Ukraine Wales, had an event yesterday in Swansea. The turnout was fantastic. People wanted to, just simple thing, to give you a hug. We raised just yesterday, in those 2 hours, we raised over £1,000. Money keeps flooding in. But I have to say that it's been like that in the last 8 years. Generosity of Welsh people, incredible. But today, I like to appeal to Russian, ordinary Russian people, real Russian people. Do not let Putin's madness ruin your lives. Do not let Putin's madness take future of your children. We all know who is Putin, liar and criminal. Let's get justice for him. My dear friends, my country is burning. Innocent people, children are dying. There are 500,000 people already running for their lives. I want to thank the Senedd for their proposal to accept the refugees. I'm sure that Welsh people to do everything they can do to accommodate refugees from Ukraine. But I have to stress that now it is very important to supply Ukraine with that what they need the most. Helmets, bulletproof jackets, because don't forget, it's ordinary civilians who took up their arms to defend their independence, to defend the peace in Europe and in the world. They need military, medical, humanitarian aid. Just remember, this is ordinary people who are defending not only Ukraine. And by doing that, they need to ensure, we need to ensure that those refugees have the place to come back to, have the homes to come back to. So we need the help now. If you have a spare fiver or penny or hundreds, please do donate. That's all would be put to use. We have to remember that Putin might not stop, and he cannot stop. It's already proven. So we all can be refugees tomorrow. Let's stop the Putin. Let's help and let's unite with Ukraine and stand by Ukraine. Wales and Ukraine are together, and together we are strong. That's what we need now. Thank you very much. Ďakujem vám.